The following program contains dangerous stunts, disturbing images, and language. Viewer discretion is advised.
My name's Steve-O, and I make people happy for a living.
He's the ultimate jackass. And the world's most entertaining wild man.
For a guy that was on a quest for sex, drugs, and rock and roll, I can't say I was disappointed in what I found.
Steve-O's willingness to do anything for a laugh.
I'm an attention whore. But he's like an attention whorehouse.
Would catapult him from amateur stuntman.
I was terrified. I thought he was going to kill himself.
To the big screen's most reckless star.
Going on Steve-O's tours were debauchery at its highest form.
But along the way, Stephen Glover would suffer real pain. From heartbreak at home.
Your mom, she's had a brain hemorrhage. She's not expected to survive the night.
To raging addiction.
He's doing like the gnarliest drugs. PCP, nitrous, cocaine.
To a death wish that nearly came true.
I was going to splatter myself on the sidewalk.
It would take a dramatic intervention.
Get some duct tape, get a bunch of guys, do whatever you got to do to subdue him.
It was plan for rehab or plan for a funeral.
To bring Steve-O back for more punishment.
Oh, why do I have to be Steve-O?
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is the biography of Steve-O. Yeah, dude.
In the summer of 2000, Stephen Glover, known to his friends as Steve-O, was a down-on-his-luck performer living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A rundown circus might have been an unlikely step on the road to international fame, but the 26-year-old was determined.
He always aimed high. You know, he had big, big dreams.
He wanted to get famous incredibly bad.
It was either succeed or die trying.
So when an old friend told him about a series he was developing for MTV, it seemed like the opportunity Steve-O had been waiting for his whole life. Jackass would showcase a group of people attempting outrageous pranks, comedy bits, and feats of physical skill.
I've always loved shocking people, and I just thought, man, you know, this is what I want to do.
In August, the Jackass crew came to Fort Lauderdale to film Steve-O for the series premiere. For his big moment, he offered up a seemingly simple gag.
Steve-O's like, hey, dude, I can swallow a goldfish and puke it back up. I'm like, all right, go get the goldfish.
If he wanted to wow the Jackass producers, it was do or die.
I was so nervous that I couldn't even say, I'm Steve-O and this is the goldfish trick.
Now you can't get him to shut up on camera, but back then he was very nervous.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is Steve-O. He's getting ready to do the goldfish trick.
And once the goldfish was in Steve-O's stomach, the real drama began.
He acts like, oh yeah, I was gonna fill my whole stomach up. I knew how to do it. He had never done it before.
The goldfish thing was funny because it didn't seem like it was gonna work.
I was just battling to get the fish to come out for so long.
But after a full minute of heaving,
Success and Jackass usually don't go hand in hand, but we're glad that one was successful because we didn't want to hurt the little goldfish.
That was one of the defining moments of Jackass, just how unpredictable and stupid it was.
Right after I finished puking up the goldfish, Johnny Knoxville said to me, he said, well, Steve-O, if you weren't famous already, I'd say you're gonna be famous now.
after just one Jackass stunt, it was a bold statement. But Stephen Glover's willingness to do anything in front of the camera, regardless of how stupid,
All right, cast me up.
dangerous, or painful it was, would make Johnny Knoxville's prediction a reality.
For what I wanted my life to be, I pretty much found everything I was looking for.
Stephen Gilchrist Glover was born in London on June 13, 1974, to Donna, a homemaker, and Ted, a successful businessman whose work took Steve and sister Cindy all around the globe.
When I was 6 months old, my family moved to Brazil. When I was 2 years old, we moved to Venezuela. When I was 4 years old, we moved to Connecticut. When I was 6 years old, we moved to Miami.
They had an exposure that most kids don't get, but along the way they had a lot of social issues, making new friends that most kids don't have.
But from his earliest years in school, Steve developed his own way of making friends.
We would go into a new school and Steve would bust in like, the halftime show.
He had to cut up and make himself visible to his peers in order to get accepted.
We were in Brazil and my mom trotted Steve off to his first day of nursery school. And when she went to pick him up, the teacher said, Esteban is tremendo. My mom thought, oh, this is great. He's tremendous. No, it turns out tremendo means tornado, like a storm. And this was not a compliment.
I would do anything for like approval or attention. I would go out of my way to bleed on purpose, like ripping out teeth before they were ready to come out because all the blood would evoke that sympathetic attention.
Steve seemed determined to raise eyebrows, and by his teen years, he was ready to raise some hell, too.
Motley Crue was about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. They certainly made it seem really cool.
In October of 1987, his heavy metal idols came to town on tour, and 13-year-old Steve was hell-bent on meeting them.
I figured out the name of their manager and just started calling every single hotel in the Yellow Pages.
Steve, when he cared about something, would work for hours. He would labor, he would conquer.
After hours of calling hotels, I got through. He asked me how I got the number, and I told him I called every hotel in the Yellow Pages, and he said, dude, that's awesome, man.
Steve charmed so much in the 30 or 90 seconds before the guy would have hung up that he got 6th row seats and backstage passes.
If I came away with anything from meeting Motley Crue, it would have been that I can do anything if I just set my mind to it.
That same year, Steve and his family returned to London, where he found a whole new passion.
My parents kicked down the ramp rat. It's his first real skateboard, and Steve was in love.
I just immersed myself in skateboarding. And my dad won a video camera in a golf tournament, and I stole it out of his closet and got to work with my skateboard buddies making videos all around London. And yeah, that started a love affair with the video camera.
Steve's love for catching tricks on tape would continue his whole life. But when he entered high school, he added another enduring obsession.
I felt like I needed a new hobby, like a new identity. So I decided to start smoking pot.
I left to go back to school, and he was this clean-cut, annoying skater dude. And I came back, and he looked like Charles Manson.
Within a month or two, I was taking acid and drinking regularly.
But Steve wasn't the only one in the Glover family with substance abuse issues.
My mom is an alcoholic, and when she was drunk, she was out of commission.
Dad's travels took him away. Mom was lonely, and she was depressed, and she didn't have a good reason to get out of bed in the morning.
For Steve, it helped to create an unusual bond with his mother.
Steve and Mom had an understanding. You don't pick on me for my obvious shortcomings, and I won't pick on you for yours.
But coupled with Ted's constant traveling, Donna's drinking began to have a serious impact on the Glover family.
Mom's drinking got worse and worse, and really it made it impossible for my parents to stay together.
After the divorce, our mom got so much happier, and she got sober, which was great.
But his parents' divorce wasn't the only big change for Stephen. After finishing high school in 1992, he left London to enter the University of Miami in Coral Gables, Florida, and quickly earned a name for himself on campus.
He was a party animal, he was kind of crazy.
One night at a campus bar, the party animal caught the eye of fellow freshman Tracy Smith.
I see this guy over in the corner dancing, And I just thought he was adorable, and he had this cool dance working.
I've never heard of anybody being impressed by my dancing. I actually think that's pretty hilarious.
He just danced on over, and we were pretty much inseparable from that moment.
When the second semester started after Christmas break, we basically moved in together in her dorm room.
We were very much in love, doing everything our parents feared we would.
In Tracy, Steve-O developed his first serious relationship. But the things he'd do for love would nearly kill him.